Welcome to What's the New Skateparks in Finland episode here in Suvilahti DIY.
Suvilahti DIY is a unique skate park that plays a significant role in Finnish skateboarding culture. It represents the freedom of skateboarding and it's the place where people come together to enjoy themselves. Every year, multiple skateboarding events are held here, attracting people from many countries. Sadly, the city of Helsinki plans to demolish the skate park in a few years. It's a big loss for Finnish skateboarding and the community, but let's now enjoy the skate park while we still can.
We have here one special guest who came all the way from Australia to Finland. Calvin, how's it going?
Yeah, very good, very good. It's a beautiful day, beautiful September day, you know, weather's still warm, so it's nice to be out. And yeah, looks like the park's just had a new paint job, which is really cool, really sick. Got some good footage.
Is this your first time here?
I've been here maybe 4 or 5 times. During the summer, I was thinking, you know, Suvilahti's probably going to get demolished soon, so I thought I'd try and get as much skating in here done as I could during the summer.
How do you like it so far? What's your favorite thing in this park?
Definitely the bowl. Definitely the bowl would be my favorite. It's really nice dimensions. It's nice and slippery. But then this little hip down here is also really good for some creative little maneuvers. I love all these little pockets that you can sort of jump over, grind over. There's lots of little odd obstacles that you can get really creative with.
Nice! So you did some nice bonelesses on that small hip. Where did you get all the inspiration for all these tricks?
I've pretty much just been watching Instagram, YouTube videos. There's this particular guy, Christopher Hiet. I probably pronounced that wrong, but yeah, he's a really rad skater from America. And he does those 360s to boneless in. He does all sorts of variations. He even makes a rock to fakie look really steezy when he puts his hand out on the board, leg out, and then pulls it back to fakie. Like, just a really creative skater, and he skates those old school Pal Peralta boards. It's just totally my style. Everything about it just really works for transition. Obviously, you've got more width to work with, so you can get that stability really easily. And the big wheels really work, particularly in a park like Suvilahti. I looked at photos before I came to Helsinki from Brisbane. I looked at lots of photos and I was thinking, this looks like a really sick park. It looks really easy to skate. And then I got here, and obviously you've skated it. The surface feels a little bit inconsistent at times, but if you get those big wheels, it's just a really nice, smooth transition, as smooth as you can make it.
Even this park is quite smooth DIY. Probably on the video it looks quite easy to skate, but when you're here, it's not so easy at all. At least I think so.
Totally, and you know, I've only been here 4 or 5 times, so I only have limited lines, but I've seen a couple of the locals who've spent years here. The people that built the park, obviously they shred. It's really crazy to see how they keep their speed on a park that seems quite spaced apart and difficult to keep the speed up, you know? But yeah, it's definitely possible to do some really crazy stuff here. I just wish I had more time to get accustomed to it, but we're going into autumn now, so we've only got limited time to sort of get used to it, and then it'll get knocked down, which is really sad.
How does it feel, or what do you think about it?
I agree with the public sentiment in general, you know. I went to the protest, the Save Suvilahti protest this year. I think that was in May, and there's a real uproar from the creatives in Helsinki from what I've seen. You know, the artists, the skateboarders, those underground voiceless people are really upset with the loss of such a cultural phenomenon, I guess. So, you know, this is a world-recognized park and it's built on the hands of skaters. Lots of passion and love went into this park. I've only been here since February and I can see that just through the time that I've spent here. It's a really incredible artistic centerpiece in Helsinki, and so the prospect of moving to a different park is really sad. They'll have to start from scratch, but I have faith in the locals here that they can create something as warm and magnetic as this place things again.
Yeah, I think this is like really unique place. Tourists comes here from all around the world. Even Tony Hawk visited this park like back in the days.
Yeah, he's been here 2 or 3 times, I think. I'd love to see it, man. Like, when was that? I think it was 2012, 2010 or something. It was a while back.
If you would have to give a school grade of this skate park from 4 to 10, how would you rate this park?
I'd happily give this park a solid 9. It's unique. It's got lots of different obstacles. It's got different zones, so you know you can have 4 skaters at once. Obviously, when the pros skate, they take up the whole park. That's really cool. But you know, you've got one zone over here to the left, another zone behind me here, arguably another zone to the right, and then the pool. So, you know, it's a big park. It's got lots of art. It's got lots of uniqueness that you can't find anywhere else, and different size transitions. So what more could you ask for in a transition park?
Yeah, mostly transition park. The street is missing.
Exactly. I guess that's one drawback, but for me, my personal view, it's a 9 out of 10 because I can't street skate. So there's one nice bank. What would you call that? Is that a hip there?
Corner or something?
Yeah. So that's popular with the street skaters. Alright, so let's turn the tables. What would you rate this 4 to 10?
I think I would go with the same 9 because this is just so unique place. Even I don't skate so much pools like you. I don't know. This is just a good place to hang around and have a good time and skate.
You can still do a blunt flip to fakie, so...
Yeah, I have done it a couple of times.
Yeah. Alright, 9 out of 10 is a high score. So what would be the biggest challenges that you face at this park, the biggest disadvantages of the park?
Maybe that it's kind of hard to find the correct lines for me because I'm so used to skate mini ramps. Do you have any feedback on your mind about this park? Is there room for any improvements or what do you think?
That's an interesting question. I guess it's subjective because it depends on ability level. When I turned up here the first time, I thought it was really difficult to skate, and I thought obviously the surface could be flatter, maybe the obstacles could be closer together. But then since I've seen people really shred here, I think maybe it's a question of skill. Maybe this is just a more advanced park, an intermediate to advanced park. And of course, each park that you go to has its own quirks, and through working through those quirks, like an inconsistent coping, like the bowl that I have behind me, like it's a little bit inconsistent, but it's character, you know, and if you can skate this, then it's much easier to skate something more consistent. So it's a very specific park and it's got its quirks, but it's beautiful.
You did a couple of different tricks today. What trick are you most hyped?
There's a couple of tricks. Probably my favorite trick is the backside boneless and any variation that comes with that, but particularly today was the first time I've done a frontside disaster in the bowl. It's quite scary. The vert really kicks up at the end and it's, you know, pretty steep, so to get a frontside disaster on that was really exciting.
So you're from Australia, Brisbane, right?
From Brisbane, yeah.
So what's the skateboarding scene there? If you need to compare it to Finland, how would you compare?
The most prominent difference between the Australian skateboarding scene and Finland would be the weather, of course. What I've noticed is that in Brisbane particularly, you've got skateboarding comps, maybe the same amount of skateboarding comps spread throughout the whole year. But in Finland, it hibernates during the winter months and then just a heap of skateboarding happens within 3 or 4 months. And I've loved that. I've really gotten super involved in the Finnish skateboarding scene in this short period of time and I've really loved it. You know, met a bunch of amazing people, beautiful weather like this. And then another big difference is the fact that even the park just behind us at Ready, is that how you say it?
Yeah, Ready.
So they change their obstacles each summer so that during the winter people don't get sick of the place and, you know, there's lots of new different things to try. That's something that isn't so commonly done in Australia and something that I really appreciate about the City Council here is that they're really looking to put money into social causes like skate parks and lots of other things as well.
We can thank skateboarding associations that we have here about it. Do you have something similar in Australia?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'm probably not the best person to ask about skateboarding in Australia, to be honest, because I've been skating transition for 3 years now. It's a hobby that I picked up during the COVID restrictions. I've actually probably made more contacts and participated in more competitions in Finland than I did in Australia, But of course, from the small input that I've had in the Australian scene, I have seen similar things. There's like the Red Frogs skateboarding, I think in Brisbane. They have their own skate park that's indoors and outdoor with a big 70s bowl called God Bowl. There's a really great guy called Mark Brimson there, and he has a little skate shop in there. He helps the young people. If you come up without a board, he'll give you one of the boards that he's set up. So it's a really good community group. The older people from the Brisbane skateboarding community are sort of nurturing those younger skateboarders, which is really, really nice. And I guess the culture across skateboarding all across the world, because now I've been across Europe skateboarding and also in Australia, it's very community oriented. I almost feel like skateboarding is a universal language, and you know, you might go to Germany, speak to somebody who doesn't speak much English, but you could connect through the mutual love of skateboarding. And that's what this park has always been, from what I've read online, from what I've seen in person. It brings people from all around the world together and they communicate through this common passion.
I see that you have a special fishtail skateboard complete. How did you end up to choose this one?
So the God Bowl place that I described before, maybe 2 years ago I was just skating a 825, but I was really enjoying that big pool. I was just doing front carves and getting really into it, and one of the locals there was like, hey, try this Powell Peralta board, I think it might suit your style. And ever since then I couldn't go back, so I bought like a Eric Winkowski board, which is a 10.34 size deck. I really liked that, and then I just thought I'd try the Jeff Kendall 835. This one's a little bit odd to skate because it's got a really small nose. I had to move the trucks back, but even still it's got a really short nose. But I think the Eric Winkowski is a really nice all-round transition board where you can sort of do those nose stalls and reverts and stuff like that.
What are the benefits and drawbacks of skating a fishtail complete?
I think the benefit is obviously the extra space that you've got to land the trick, you know. I find going from a board like this to a smaller, you know, regular shaped skateboard, 825, even 85, my foot placement is completely different. A lot of these old school boards also tend to have a smaller concave, which I've gotten really used to. Now that if I skate a smaller deck, I really feel that concave. But I guess the biggest drawback would be the smaller nose size. And I guess a couple of other good advantages are big wheels. Typically these cruiser boards have big wheels, so they are more suited to cruising or, you know, trying parks like this that are a little bit more rocky. So it's a really good all-round board in that regard. And then wide trucks. The wider the truck is, the more space you have to lock into the coping. So if I'm going full speed at a vert ramp and I'm worried that I'm going to be accurate, at least the extra couple of inches of truck will be a little bit safer so I don't slip out and eat shit.
How about the rails?
Oh, of course, yes, the rails are really consistent for the sliding, of course. You know, so board slide reverts, lip slides, particularly lip slides, are way easier with rails. I found skating boards without the rails, you'd sort of be really slippery when you've got the fresh graphic, and then once it slides down, you start to stick a little bit more. And you kind of really have to be mentally prepared for the condition of your board. But if you've got rails, I've had these for 2.5 years, and I slide the same every time.
But is it sometimes even too slippery?
Of course, like when you go from skating a normal graphic deck, particularly one that's worn down, that you need to lean back more for, and then you go back to the rails, they feel really slippery, of course. You poo shoot quite easily, but skating rails like this also means that I've learnt to fall with rails like this, so I guess it evens itself out in the end.
Thanks a lot for the interview.
Thank you very much for having me. It was fun, and you know, let's enjoy the rest of this beautiful weather.